Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jnanatiminandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshura Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vitale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravana Pracharna Vishesha Srimati Paschatya Adhishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Tagadada Shri Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, what did we discuss last time? What did we hear? Yes.
Well, there were some auspicious things happening, and I wish to not postpone it, which you said.
What was the main subject of discussion? What's the main subject? Yes.
We need to be
what? Cheating business.
Always cautious, right? In the nature, like we can be covered by anytime we can be covered by the Maya or illusion.
Okay, we have to be very how with the word? We have to treasure, we have to be very appreciative of the opportunity that we can practice Krishna consciousness, that we can be Krishna conscious. Because if that's not the case, then immediately we will be covered by Maya. We have to be very, very appreciative, very grateful that we have this option of being Krishna conscious, being under spiritual influence by the spiritual energy of the Lord. So that's something we should never take for granted. Otherwise, if we do so, like anything people take for granted, you see, anyone can see in their own life, whenever you take anything for granted, you're going to lose that. Position, relationships, anything. You take anything for granted, that means you start, becoming very selfish, very unconsiderate. You stop performing austerities, which are necessary to keep anything expanding, flourishing, maintaining. And everything in the course of time becomes lost. So that's something nobody can afford. One always has to be active. In Bhagavad Gita, there is words that austerity, charity, and penance should never be given up. Never, even by the great persons. One should always do this. But then, at the higher stages, that is done with love and desire to please Krishna. But it should never be abandoned, because as soon as we abandon this, then we come under influence of material energy. There's no other option. Either we are under influence of Krishna, or we are under influence of his external potency, Maya. So we can never take this for granted. We should be always very, very, very attentive and cautious not to lose Krishna consciousness. Don't take it for granted. Many times, we see when we start practicing, this is just, we really take it for granted. And then because that is the case, anything taken for granted, that means there is no appreciation, there is no consciousness there. And your consciousness drifts away. Because you don't draw from that source, or you don't contribute to that source, and then you lose it. So everything is like this in life. You take anything for granted, as I said, relationships, position, anything, whatever you can think of. And that means your attention is drawn to something else. And then you lose that. You lose that. You can't, it's everything in this life you have to charge, so to say. Everything. It's not like you can, like in married life or something, husband and a wife, You can't take a relationship for granted. You always have to contribute. There's never a point that you can just always draw from it. And you think of, I've contributed enough. It doesn't work like this. You always have to contribute. You always have to invest. You always have to sacrifice. In everything. Once that stop, we see with big empires, with anything. Once you stop just, once you start drawing, and you stop contributing, it crumbles down, it just falls apart. It degrades and it just falls apart. It doesn't work. So with our Krishna consciousness, we're very, 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 very conscious, very appreciative, because, it said, you don't lose it, you don't use it, you lose it. You don't appreciate it, you lose it. So we should never take it for granted, thinking, yes, being Krishna consciousness, that's easy. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy. It is easy if we are having proper consciousness. But again, you lose that proper consciousness, then it will become very difficult again. Because then again, you become contaminated with lust, anger, greed, envy, madness, illusion. And then again, Krishna consciousness will become difficult. We won't have taste and we'll face so many obstacles. So that's why one has to be very, very cautious. Should never take it for granted. Yeah? Okay. Anything else?
That's it's been difficult to overcome. You can overcome only by redirecting.
Okay. In which context we spoke about it? that lust is difficult to overcome, only if directed towards Krishna. But in which context was that spoken?
Because
What was the major subject of discussion? Last time, what was the major subject of discussion? What was the verse? We did read one verse. Promulgating the okay, I'll read the verse. It was one verse. I read it at the end. Just as these desires are the fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demon is only an incidental necessity, so for Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, promulgating the Dharma of the age is incidental. That was the not direct reason, it was secondary reason for Krishna's appearance. Okay, anyway. Yes?
Last time you said to remind you about that you were about to speak something on
Something on...
why some dharmas are important?
Why sometimes what? Oh, okay.
We have a discussion regarding the Varnashram also.
Okay. So there might be different reasons because all the processes are available at all the ages. All the processes are not like now. Are we doing deity worship? No. Yes. Yes. We are doing deity worship. We are doing deity worship. Are we doing yagyas?
Yes.
No. Who said no? Why you were not there during the Simha Chaturdashi last month? Why? Why missing Nrsimha Chaturdashi? Such an important. It's one of the major festivals. Yeah, there was no yagya there? There was, but that's my point. There's yagya everywhere. No, I mean, I'm asking everybody. It's not like it's... So yagya was done. There were 3 yagya pits done. 2 yagya was done, but okay. And then anybody here doing some kind of yoga? Really, you're doing some yoga? What did you do? Shirshasana or something? Some yoga, okay. No, fine. Doing some yoga. So you see, all the processes are, to some extent, one can benefit from, and what one can practice all the process. But why is one more prominent compared to the other? Can you answer that question? Why is one more prominent compared to the other? Yeah, why one process is more prominent than the other? Why let's say, when during the Treta Yoga yagyas have been performed and yoga has been done, why people didn't chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so much? Why they didn't take this? Why we don't just chant and dance? Why we have to, do all this yoga and this, sit down, for 60,000 years or something, do meditation? You know the answer, or?
Yeah.
Okay, let them think. Okay.
Every yug has a way of connecting to Krishna or to the Lord.
No, but you can't.
Yug is chanting.
Yes, that's true. That is stated. Kritayat yayato Vishnum treto yajati makai vaparo paricharyayam kali tadhari kirtana. There are, but all the processes are always known, available.
Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was our youth avatar.
Okay.
So we have to give him more.
Okay, that's pretty close. Okay, so he was giving a lot of importance to chanting.
Yes.
He was propagating. He was advertising. It's like that. It's like nowadays, advertisement is everything. They said, you want to sell any product, 90% is advertisement, 10% it's hard work. You may do hard work 90% and don't advertise, you won't sell it so much. Or you won't get it known, or you won't get it through, or whatever it is. So it's mostly advertisement, but that advertisement is based on certain principles, criteria, points, whatever you may call them. where we may categorize it. It has its use, it has its purpose also. But mostly it's like, what do you promote? Let's say you can start, you see people, you can start practicing yoga. There's so much promotion of yoga going on. No, there is still that day, yoga day, something once a year, World Yoga Day or something. Whatever. You can advertise, you can promote, but what the results are you going to get? So that is something that has to be seen. So that comes according to time, place, circumstances. And that comes with certain qualification. So here, for us, it's very easy to say that we are disqualified from doing yagya, we are disqualified from doing yoga, we are disqualified pretty much also from deity worship, according to the real standards that have been presented in Dvapara Yuga. So it's not going to be easy by those processes. It's almost practically impossible to achieve perfection, self-realization. But it's so easy with Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra, you can lie down and you can sleep and chant. Practically, you can do that. I know there's no, as Prabhupada said, hard and fast rules for Maha Mantra. You can just chant anywhere, anytime. It just, in any circumstance, again, it doesn't matter. You can do that. So that's an enormous blessing. Of course, there are some conditions. No offenses. 10 offenses. Anybody knows 10 offenses? It's my favorite question, because nobody knows the answer. What are the 10 offenses to the holy name of the Lord? No, wait a second. Who knows all 10? Raise your hand. See, but then how you expect to achieve perfection? You don't know. It's always, every process is yam and niyam, do's and don'ts. You have to know. So, now what to do? And every day, you have to know this, because every day, hopefully, chanting something. No? So now what to do? 10 offenses. Okay.
I don't know, I said none of us know it.
Once I looked at 10 offenses in Lord Chaitanya book, so Prabhuji told me that you don't read all this.
Now what do you have to say?
Prabhuji said you are not on that stage, so you don't.
No, I think that what I told is don't read Chaitanya, Chaitanya is right.
No, Prabhuji. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya.
No, teachings of Lord Chaitanya.
What's wrong with reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya?
He was
We are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita now. And we are reading Adi Lila. This is, I said this like topmost, it's PhD of spiritual, whatever, it's like education. And of course, we are doing that in discussion. We are doing that trying to draw from commentaries of the Acharyas, for Prabhupada's guidance. We're doing this under disciplic succession. We are not just trying to understand it on our own. Srila Prabhupada gave those books, for everybody. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya is not Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, one reads on its own, that might be a little bit difficult to follow, but that one can see whether one can follow or not, to which extent. But what does this have to do with 10 offenses? That was my question. 10 offenses. Why we don't know 10 offenses? Okay, we'll write on the board, and please, somebody then, and everybody has to take a selfie with this. Then you will look at it. Every day you have to look at it and repeat those. Okay, we want. Where are those 10 offenses? Can somebody send a message around on WhatsApp or whatever? Can we have that? Okay, so share. Don't be, too attached to it. Just share it. I mean, this is little, may say technical, boring. Now we are kind of losing flow of the discussion. But if we don't know this, but then how are we going to advance? Because we make progress by chanting, but then if we are not cautious about those offenses, and we commit those offenses, then our chanting won't be so effective. So we have to be very cautious. Yes.
Actually, in these 10 offenses, all the offenses that we can remember easily, that we should not compare Krishna as a demigod, we should not blaspheme devotees, or etc. etc. But the last point, which is the main point, which says that the attentive chanting should be there. Like,
okay. Yes, that's the root cause of all the other offenses.
Yeah. And
okay, can we remember at least 3 of those?
I found it, I have all 10.
See, so share it with others. And every day, who is chanting? Okay, let's say who is not chanting. Every day, who is not chanting? who okay, everybody's chanting at least one round or something. But then before chanting, we should read these 10 offenses until you learn them. So if you have trouble or you don't feel attracted to memorize them, then at least read them every day before starting to chant. That's all, it's very simple. And we had also, this is in a negative form, but we have those offenses presented in a positive form. We just reverse them. Let's say don't blaspheme devotees, don't criticize, whatever. And what one should do, one should always glorify, find something good. That is a nice thing to do. Find something, positive. So please try to do this, then you'll see a big difference in your chanting, you'll see a big difference in your spiritual advancement. These are real basics. If we don't have that foundation, but then what can we hope and consider to achieve afterwards? So 10 offenses, no? Okay, I won't repeat them now, but okay, I'll say just those 3. Okay, let me just say the 3 ones which are the most common and most detrimental. So first one is yes, that the last one, which is being inattentive. Like when you're inattentive, again I said, like in the beginning, you're inattentive to Krishna, you're going to lose Krishna. You're inattentive to anything, you're going to lose that. You take it for granted, you're going to lose it. You won't have control over it, you won't get any benefit out of it, and you won't get any, reciprocation from it. So we should not be attentive. I found myself today inattentive. Every day. It's like every day we are somewhat inattentive. Some inattentiveness is there. I was chanting and the fly came in the room, and then I opened the window and I tried to chase it. Every day, and then what am I doing? So it's always something happens, some kind of inattention. So we should not be inattentive. At least we should attempt not to be inattentive. That attempt should be always there. And because of that inattentiveness, then what happens? Then we commit first offense, which is find fault in devotees. We find something that we criticize that doesn't appeal to us, but for whatever reason, whether wrong or right. And that criticism, it's very negative. And it will destroy our bhakti. It's not good. And then the 7th one is very dangerous also, that we may sometimes commit something that's sinful, and we may think that if I chant, then I'll purify that. So I can keep on being sinful. Yes, you keep on committing sin and you remain in the sin. Our mantra is not going to help. Our mantra is not a doormat for wiping our sins. So we have to be very, very cautious. We should not do this. To just, stop it. We should not do this. And then think that, if I chant my mantra, yes, then it will become purified. It will get, yes. What is that? Nanaka Papi, Papa, what is it? In Padma Purana, there is verse, Patakam Pataki Naraha. that there's no amount of sin that just by pure chanting of the holy name cannot be eradicated at once. It's so powerful. Holy name is so powerful. But again, if we don't have that proper attitude and we take it for granted and we just misuse it like this, then it's very great offense. And it's enormous offense. So we should be very cautious about it. Extremely cautious. So this the inattentiveness, criticizing, and like this, taking holy name as a cleaning process or something, that very, very, very bad. Extremely very detrimental to our spiritual life. So at least we should be focused on these three. We should be very careful about this. Okay, so that, yes, Yuga Dharma. So it's mainly like what it's propagated, and we find there are Yuga Dharma avatars which point to what is the more effective process compared to the other. And then to ability, time and place, then people take it and achieve perfection. So that's mostly. So we are not qualified definitely for other processes. That's what we take to what we apparently can do at this stage. And then others, they were, let's say, why they didn't chant in Treta Yuga? Well, they might have chanted also. That's not excluded that they didn't chant. But there were different mantras which they were more attracted to, which were more advertised, so to say, which were more aligned with whatever was the Yuga Dharma. All the Maha Mantra was there, but they were not so attracted towards it. And another reason also is that we really have a special mercy, because by this Maha Mantra process, where are we going? Where are we supposed to reach and end? It's extremely merciful on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's part to give us this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. We hope to reach at some point to Golok Vrindavan. So we are not just aiming at Vaikuntha, we are not even aiming at Dwarka, Ayodhya, Mathura, Puri, whatever. We want topmost destination. So that's where Maha Mantra can lead us. And the Maha Mantra will reveal, Maha Mantra, Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, Maha Mantra is so powerful that it will reveal our true identity. It contains all the perfection. What is Maha Mantra? It's Radha and Krishna. Who is Radha and Krishna? They're everything. They're the most powerful and perfect source of everything. So if we connect to that, then we gain everything. So that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's the most merciful contribution. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Okay, any questions on that? Otherwise we read today's verse. Yes. Okay.
If we cannot instruct a faithless person about
That's 9 to friends.
if we don't try and make an attempt, how will we talking towards Krishna?
Yeah, the one word is missing. What can you read the 9th offense so that everybody hears? I mean, I can say it, but
Instruct a faithless person about the glories.
to do what? Again, listen now.
To
instruct the faithless person
about the glories of the holy.
about the glories of the holy name. So one word that it's usually not emphasized so much is to instruct the faithless person about the intimate glories of the holy. So it's about intimate glories. It's not about the glories of the holy name. You can tell them glories of the holy name. We go out and have harinams. Who is qualified? And we explain Maha Mantra means this and Maha Mantra, whatever, some basic about what means intimate. Intimate means pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Intimate means something that it's very deep, very close, very, which may sound very esoteric to someone from outside. We don't discuss that because that's intimate. And that would be like the example is given, feeding snake with the milk. No, we don't do that. So, we may give some buttermilk, we won't give milk. It's like, So water things down a little bit. We may speak about general things. Maha Mantra is good for, there's some basic things. Maha Mantra is the process, Maha Mantra. But we won't talk about something that people may find fault and want to find fault and criticize. Because then that would make their position worse also. And our position very bad, because then they would commit an offense. So the point, it's intimate. Okay. Yes.
That the main offenses is that you have to be very attentive while chanting.
Okay.
Oh, and once you do the offense into that, if you are not attentive in the chanting, so you stand in that position only. Like, so I'm just wondering, attentive chanting for 2 hours, it's really like hard for anyone. Anyone like for us, so it's very difficult. And most of the brahmacharis also do say that my chanting is not that good. Okay, I have this.
You know what Prabhupada said? This was heard by some few senior devotees. It's not recorded, but they say that Prabhupada said it took him 30 years to perfect his chant. So now we have a further discussion on this. And that's what Prabhupada saying. And what should we say? So sometimes it takes lifetimes. So we count on Lord of Krishna's mercy, trying to be as attentive as possible. But that's if you have to understand, that's the easiest process. Well, you want to do yoga in Himalayas, or you want to do yagya and learn all these different mantras and whatever. I don't know. You want to do the deity worship, which Prabhupada said, if I told you all the rules and regulations, you would faint. What do you want to do? So isn't it just easy just to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. That's why it's easier in congregational chanting. It's easier together somehow. It's more difficult with our own mind. But at least that's our yagya. So that's why I said that this is greatest tapasya. Chanting. You don't have to do any other tapasya. I just heard a verse which says that all the different going to the holy places, giving so much dana, doing this, doing that, any tapasya, this, that nothing, it's all 1,000 times removed, just how much one can achieve by, chanting Hare Krishna mantra. There's no greater austerity, there's no greater anything than just chanting. There's so many glory. That's why in this age, this process is so powerful, so powerful. So yes, we struggle with it, everybody's struggling, and we're going to continue to struggle, and maybe who knows what may happen, whether in this life one can reach perfection or not. But the point is, you try your best. And just by that, you will see you'll be advancing. You'll be advancing. And then, by mercy of the Holy Name, who knows? You might start getting some nice realizations. But the point is, you have to keep on trying. Do not say, oh, it's too hard. Well, what's easier? If that's too hard, what is easier? There's nothing more easier than this. Prabhupada said, chant, take some prasadam and go back to Krishna. No. So even then, if you say, I can't chant, but then you take prasadam, and then while taking prasadam, you chant. Okay, any other question? Yes.
Many people, they do have discussion by chanting the holy names, that the word Krishna, sometimes people use Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So what should be our ideology behind this discussion?
People what?
They usually debate that the word Krishna, sometimes people do not pronounce correctly. Maybe their accent is not so good.
Yeah, you go to China. You know how they will pronounce? Yeah, whatever. I heard something, I was laughing, but anyway, I won't repeat. I was like, I heard them chanting, Actually, they can't say that they are. They don't have a word R in their dictionary. They replace it with L. That's one thing. Alec listener, something like this. Anyway. So now what? They won't go back to Godhead because they can't pronounce it properly. What does Krishna take? Krishna takes, like yesterday somebody made some sweet. And what they did, which I get very, and I won't say this. So what they did, they put the lachi, no? The whole thing. So many. So is there any use much of putting the whole thing? You get anything from that outer? Is there any flavor there? Yes or no? You people were cooking behind. Yes or no? I mean here also. No, there's not much. So I said, so why are you so lazy? Just open one, use those seeds, crush them, and even one or two, if you have put, it'll be so much more flavor than dumping so many of them and just cooking them all together. And when you take this sweet, then you get all that stuff also. And what do you do with this? You find it, it's like such a trouble. So what is the essence of that elachi seed? It's the seed itself, not the outer thing, which is like, what do you do that when you have it in your mouth? Anybody likes to eat it? But then why putting it? So then what is the essence? Krishna takes the essence. What is the essence? So it's not so much about what is externally there, but what is the bhav, what is the mood, what is the attention. Like even if you're not doing it perfectly, even if you're not perfectly attentive, even whatever it is, but if you keep on trying, and even if you're unsuccessful, you keep on trying 100%, that's what Krishna wants. That's bhakti. That's what Krishna wants. Krishna wants you 100%. Not by some external judgment what results are you getting or supposed to get. So it doesn't matter. If you, let's say, you know how you should pronounce it, and you can do it, but you don't, that's a different thing. But if you just can't do it, then Krishna will oversee that. Krishna won't see the fault. Krishna will see the good part. Yesterday I said, when did I say? Like Putana, when she was Balimarat's sister, Krishna took the good part. He oversaw the bad part. Okay? So if you can pronounce properly and you can work on that, then you can do it. Fine, great, nice. Even better. Some people just can't say, like in America, how do they say R? They say no. It's like having a chewing gum, talking something, whatever. That's the accent, no? They can't say hare, like harder, R. No? They have a hard time. So then what do you do, And they're so conditioned. People are so conditioned. You can work on conditionings, that's fine. But again, Krishna looks for essence. If somebody is too conditioned, that doesn't mean he's excluded from the process altogether. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, we read today's verse.
How
should we have faith in Mahaprabhu offering highest compared?
there are many other philosophies.
Yeah, so compare them still. And ultimately, what should we do? Put it into practice. See what you get. Okay. Yes.
In this some offenses that that's that Krishna consciousness. So these are the offenses which we do like during the day, not
Not during the night.
when during the chanting we don't prefer to do that. It's so hard to make.
Because it affects your consciousness. Okay, we are not doing offenses during the chanting, maybe directly, except of inattentive chanting. But it affects our consciousness. It affects our attitude towards the whole. Understand? Because devotees are they dear to Krishna? Yes or no? So you offend devotees and you, oh Krishna, I love you, but you're it will reflect in your chanting. Attention, go to the chanting. So what Krishna takes is the attitude. That's what's the essence of the chanting. No? Your bhav, your bhakti. No? That's why it's important. The position of the chanting, the glories of the chanting, and so many other things. So that means you may not directly, but you're indirectly committing offense to the holy name. Okay?
But Prabhuji, like, it is not like that each and every devotee is same. They have some good behavior with you. I'm not giving my example, but they have some good behavior with anyone. So the other party have a judgment on the other one, other devotee. So that judgment is automatically comes by the behavior. So like.
So we have to. There is Vaishnava etiquette.
Yeah.
You should maybe introduce those classes also. It would be nice.
And if we say that.
And that's unending. You know, that can be discussed over and over and over and over. And because so many times we forget about it, we should keep on hearing how to deal with others, understand our and everyone else's position, and see how the Shastra points how to relate to each other. Then we are safe. We should know the etiquette. And in general, again, it's better not to try to avoid being rude. You know? Again, unless you have a position to correct someone, because there is a constructive criticism which will help someone. You may okay, mother will instruct the child or something, you know. But there is criticism which is destructive, you know, which is just to demean someone, and so one should avoid that. But even constructive one, you cannot give to everyone. If you don't have a relationship, they'll take it otherwise. You know? They might feel offended. So then why would you do that? If you don't have a relationship, then why would you point to someone's faults? So unless it affects many or something, then better just to ignore it in one sense. Because what can you do? You may just make things worse. So one has to see that. One has to have that ability to understand how to react at a certain time, place, circumstance. Okay. Okay, so let's read today's verse. This is text 38. Kona karane yabe bhila avatare mana yuga dharma kala bhila sekale milana. When the Lord desired to appear for another reason, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also arose. That's also very interesting. Everything adjusts to Krishna's desire. Astakindasa Lila or something. There might not be a full moon, but Krishna wants, and then it happens, the full moon, or this happens, or season changes, or something, so many adjustments that Krishna wants this, immediately this manifests, whatever. Because devotees want to serve Krishna. So they will adjust everything according to Krishna's desire. So everything can be adjustable to him. But yeah, that's a secondary thing. So when Krishna desired to appear, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also arose. So thus, with two intentions, the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with the congregation chanting of the holy name. So in general, Krishna appears with his devotees, but very often, or actually every time, it is described that even before Krishna comes, some devotees come to set the scene, to make everything adjusted for Krishna's appearance. As like we know, Lord Nityananda came before, Advaita Acharya came before, some other devotees came before. So to set the grounds for Krishna's appearance. So thus he spread kirtan, even among the untouchables. He wove a wealth of the holy name and prema, which he garlanded the entire material world. So that's why it said it's just undiscriminately. Krishna presented the highest possible process, and without expecting any qualification. But can we say that there is no qualification required for chanting the holy names? Huh?
Some faith required.
Okay, that's there. Some faith. Yes, there is some qualification required. There is some, because we won't take to it. You know, like that. There was funny story. Gadadhar Pandit, he came to Muslim Qazi, and they were, like sometimes devotees. In the beginning, they're very enthusiastic. They get so much rush of ecstasy, of Krishna consciousness. I don't know anyone had that experience. Hopefully somebody. I did something funny. In '96. Anyway, I'll say it. Well, what to do now? I mean, maybe it's not, but it could have been, misinterpreted in different ways. 86, there was a centennial year, 100 years of Srila Prabhupada's appearance. And what devotees, they had different tasks that they had different to achieve, and they wanted to glorify Srila Prabhupada in so many ways, and then they distributed many books, and they did many things. And then some devotees collected 1,108 tirthas from different parts of India. That means Ganga, Manasarovar, even somebody went this, that. They took so many different, and they wanted to bathe Prabhupada with all these different tirthas. So they did that. So once they did that, and then we were told, if you give some donation, I was that time studying, they said if you give some donation and you sponsor the Kalash, so I sponsored one Kalash, then you get that water. So I got very excited. Wow, I was like, so I sponsored one Kalash. And then I got that water. And then what I did with that water, first, any friend I had, and I knew they were nonsense and absolutely no interest in anything spiritual. So I had a little, this drop, like for the nose drops, you press this and it comes out, like that, dropper kind of stuff, So then we would walk, and then sometimes I would just, do like this, and they would look up. So I was doing, I was trying to purify them. That's what I was thinking, purifying them. And then I would go to church, and every church has, they have like a basin, little basin before you enter, and they keep some holy water there. So So then I also can put some drops there. Yeah, because they take some water and they, like do like this. But and they put on their head also. Then I put in the major rivers also. But this in church was little, like, I mean, because with the dropper it's easy because they, if somebody says, what do you do? Oh, I'm taking some holy water. No, you can't say you're giving or you're taking. It doesn't matter. It's both. So you become a little kind of fanatic like this. You start doing things that you would ordinarily not do. No, kind of. So there is some enthusiasm. So, see, I went all the way to the West and I lost tickets to India. So what was the point? What was the point? Yeah? Huh? No, but before that. Qualification.
We need qualification.
Yeah, we need qualification. Yeah, so little faith, something. Oh. No, one second. There was a point behind it. Why I start talking about this. So we get that's the year is not important. Yeah. So I mean, you need some enthusiasm is there. Some enthusiasm is there. But that's mercy of the holy name. That's mercy of the holy name. That's mercy of the process. Anyway. So anyway, major point is qualification. Qualification has to be there. It's not that everyone will embrace the process immediately, no. Not everybody will just be very enthusiastic about it. And we see that's not the case. So even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like here, he spread it, it said among untouchables, garlanded the whole world with the ocean of prema. But not everybody is accepting it, no. Not everybody understands the value of it. There was one story of one disciple who came to his guru and said, what is the most treasurable, valuable thing? What is the most powerful process? So he said, the chanting of the holy name. And I said, wow, amazing. Okay, I got the most valuable instruction. And then he went out and then he saw, the boatmen, he was chanting Hare Krishna. He saw small children, they were playing around, they were chanting Hare Krishna. He saw some ladies on the field where they were chanting Hare Krishna. So then he came back to his guru. I said, what is this? Everybody's chanting Hare Krishna. How is this most sacred, most valuable, most, confidential? He said, yeah, okay. So he gave him one very precious stone he had. So he said, you go to these people, see what they do with this. And then he went. Then they couldn't recognize the value. They were thinking, okay, I can use it in this way for this. I can use it, like so many different. I'm not going to go into details now. But they couldn't recognize the value of it. So then he came back, and then he realized that yes, unless you, and that's what Guru confirmed, unless you understand the value of what you're gaining, you won't really get much benefit out of it. Huh? Because even parrot can be taught to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. That's pretty mechanical. It's pretty mechanical. So that's why even that, that question, somebody doesn't chant it like this or like that, doesn't matter. Attitude is important. More important, that bhav, that desire to please Krishna, to chant properly, even if one cannot or it's not doing it, but it's attempting at least giving his 100%. That's what's more important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so merciful, he gave this holy name, to everyone. But nobody, it's not that everybody is taking advantage of it. It's not that everybody is just so excited about it, because they don't know the value of it. So that's what's devotees' role, that the devotees try to purify the world from anarthas, right? We talked about it because when you have anarthas, you can't appreciate Krishna consciousness or take to Krishna consciousness. And that's another, so that's one reason why, as I said, gave that example also. Yeah, I become a little bit enthusiastic to do so many things to revolutionize the world, kind of, to make everybody Krishna conscious. You really become so enthusiastic, and you want to spread the knowledge. Because why we have these books? Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning, middle, and the end, is a glorification of the holy name. Yeah. Shastras are glorifying the holy name. So if we understand the importance of the holy name, then we'll take the holy name more seriously. And we'll take advantage of that chanting more seriously. Or we see more seriously chant. So that's the duty of the devotees. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I only have one anxiety. Anybody knows what was? He only has one. We would be fortunate to be in his position because he only had one anxiety. Well, of course, that anxiety was so great, it was troubling him so much. So what is that anxiety? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only one anxiety I have. What was that? Yes.
What does Radharani feels about?
No.
How does all living entity will be delivered?
Yeah. How the whole living entities will become delivered. So he was so appreciative if somebody would assist him in delivering them. That's what devotees try to do. That's our duty. That's our mission. We're trying to relieve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his anxiety. Assisting him, trying to distribute books, trying to have more programs like this, trying to draw away people from Maya. They're glued to internet, to so many horrible things, wasting their time thinking this will make them happy. Just makes them more miserable, more dull, more miserable. That's the duty of the devotee. And that's how, by giving more mercy, we gain more mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though absolutely being non-qualified, but just at least attempting to relieve him from anxiety by acting in Krishna consciousness. We hopefully qualify for his mercy. We qualify for mercy of, or we try to qualify mercy of Guru, Lord Nityananda. Actually, first Guru Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then only you can hope to gain, Radha Krishna. But by acting in such a way, following the instructions of Parampara. Okay, time's up. Any last question or something? Yes. Is helping what?
Like a therapy.
Like a therapy.
For sick person.
For sick person, yes, it helps. Mahamantra has so many different side effects, but devotees should not so much emphasize those. One gets so many benefits from it, but we should emphasize the major benefit, to develop a relationship with Krishna. That's the real purpose of Mahamantra. So Prabhupada didn't like what devotees were saying, oh, you chant Mahamantra, you will gain base, you will get that. Prabhupada wasn't so much, he was very much against that, and was not in favor of such things. That might be there, but Prabhupada wanted to present pure bhakti for us. Okay. Okay. So Prabhupada ki jai, Chaitanya Chaitanya ki jai.